and welcome to my channel guys. My name is Nijar and I am teaching every step in the realistic VFX production pipeline. This is the second video in my SynthEyes in-depth series that you can find in the playlist section. I will pack everything in these playlists so it is easier for people to follow one topic at a time. In this tutorial, I am going to explain how to manually track the camera in SynthEyes. This process is also known as supervised method of tracking. Before watching it, I will recommend you to watch my latest video if you have not done that, because I will reference to some topics that I covered in that video. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So why exactly do we need manual tracking when we have auto tracking? To answer that, let me pull up the footage real quick by clicking on this new button, locating my footage and selecting the first frame. I have already explained why should we work in image sequence rather than the video in my last tutorial, so make sure you check it out. In this window, just make sure the playback speed is 24 fps and you are good to go. Let's preview the shot first. So by default, SynthEyes play every frame, that is why your video will look like it's running faster. To fix that, simply click that view button and select normal speed. To explain why manual or supervised tracking is preferred in the professional workflow, let's give it a go with the auto tracker and see what result we get. I deliberately selected this video so I could explain what are the problems that we get with the auto tracking. As you can see, SynthEyes also added trackers on the water and this dude over here. So camera tracking in general means that we are tracking the movement of the camera, but here SynthEyes is tracking moving object. There is a separate concept of object tracking which I will explain in future videos, but right now these trackers are messing with the camera track. So let's solve this track and see what result do we get. As you can see, these trackers are going wild. They are moving in different direction. This is going this way and this tracker is going this way, which is not what we want, right? So to avoid this, we manually add all of these trackers wherever we want them. And we supervise the track at every frame and fix any sliding along the way. That is why this is also known as the supervised method of tracking. Let's remove this track and learn how we can create those trackers. Go to the summary tab and simply left button click on your viewport while holding the letter C for Charlie on your keyboard. You will get this familiar shape if you have ever done tracking even in a 2D package, and the theory behind this shape is similar across every DCC. You can create as many trackers as you want. So SynthEyes will track the area under this dot and it will rely on the contrast and pattern inside this inner box. For example, for this tracker, SynthEyes will calculate the movement of this pattern right here. It will make sure that this dot, it never goes higher than this horizontal line or never go left or right of this vertical line. So it will not let it move this way or even this way. So it will stick to this point. But you might ask that it can find a million other sections with a similar pattern. Well, yes, that is why we have this outer box. This box limits SynthEyes to look for that pattern only inside of this box. If you know your pattern is clear enough in one direction and tracker can never lose it, you can limit this outer box in just one direction, either horizontal or vertical. So once again, SynthEyes will track this dot based on this pattern that it finds inside the smaller box, and it will look for this pattern only inside of this section, the bigger box. So make sure wherever you put your tracker, that area has a very good contrast and it has some pattern inside of it. Now let's see what we have got on this side over here. The first drop down is the list of the trackers that you have in your scene, and it shows the selected tracker. These buttons over here is to move your playhead to start and end of the timeline or to any specific frame number if you want. Next we have the same in button, previous frame button, play button, next frame button and out button. These buttons works with tracking just like the main play bar. By the way, you can also use S for Sierra and D for Delta keys or left and right arrow keys on your keyboard to jump between frames. but there is a catch that I will show you in just a second. But before that, we have this magic wand tool which allows us to create trackers without holding the letter C. Let's turn it off so we don't accidentally create new trackers. The delete button right next to the magic wand tool obviously deletes the selected tracker. If you select the tracker and hit this button, it will delete it. And you can also use the delete button on your keyboard. It will also delete the selected tracker. Then we have the channel selector that allows us to use one specific channel or RGB channel. Some shorts do well with individual channels and others do fine with the regular RGB channel. You can preview the channels from this bar down here. This is red, green, blue, alpha. If you feel that one channel has more contrast in your shot, then you can try it out. I like to work with the RGB channel, so let's go back to it. Then this preview box is the enlarged preview of this small box right here. You can click and hold left mouse button and drag it to position your tracker. This allows you to place your tracker without continuously zooming in and out on every other tracker. So you can just select this tracker and position it from this box. Next, we have the type selector button. Honestly, I have never used it. This next arrow key is the thing that I was talking about. So if you select this tracker and zoom in on it, so even if you go back with the arrow keys or the S key, you will see that the tracker is not retracking. It is just displaying what was there before that frame. But for most of the shots, you will want to track backwards. So we have this toggle key to set the direction of tracking. If you set it to left, the SynthEyes will track it backward. You can see the play buttons are reversed on both play bars after I click this button. If I click it again, you will see they are back to their normal side. Then we have this on and off toggle button and you can use it to disable your tracker for some frames. This button also depends on the direction button. If the arrow is facing right, the tracker will disable all keys in the forward direction. And if it is facing left, it will disable everything in the left direction or in the reverse direction. Let me show you what I mean. So my playhead is at frame 104 and my direction is set to right. So if I hit this toggle button, it will remove all keys and it will disable the tracker for remaining frames. If I undo it and if I reverse the direction of this arrow key and I hit the toggle button now, it will remove the tracker for the frames in reverse direction. This button is very useful when you need to link two trackers and I will show you what does linking two trackers means in just a moment. These plus and minus button are to increase the gain and brightness in this monitor. It does not affect the sequence, it is here to help us placing the tracker easily. If we ever need to adjust this value for better visibility, we can increase or decrease the brightness values or the gain values from here, and it will be easier to find the pattern or the contrast that we are looking for. So let's begin tracking this shot. I will find some well contrast area to position my trackers just like this one. And another pro tip, when you start tracking your footage, make sure you are on frame 1. So once you are done with the tracking and you are sure that your tracker is not sliding, you can click this lock button. This will prevent us from accidentally moving it. So now let me show you what I meant by linking two trackers. For example, if we track this point right here, you see our tracker is going under the chain. The part that we were tracking, it is getting hidden under this chain. So to work around this tracker, we can disable this tracker for the remaining frame. You see this tracker is not working anymore. It's only working for the first frame until it's hidden. And then when it comes back right here, we can create a new tracker and then we can track this one. Now we have these two trackers that are tracking the same thing, but how do we link them? How do we tell SynthEyes that this is just one thing? It is very simple. You select your first tracker, then you go ahead and select your next tracker, then you go to track and you select combine selected trackers or shift 7. Now this will work as a single tracker, not two. So this is the main purpose of this disable button, and it is very useful in situations like this. So friends, now we have enough trackers in our shot. Usually we only need 8 good trackers per frame, but we have more than 8, so it should be good. The next steps are same as the auto tracking. We have to go to the summary tab and then click solve. Now SynthEyes will create a 3D scene based on our tracking points. And you will notice that our error rate is much lower than the auto track. It's 0.2. Now the next step, we need to set the coordinates of our shot. If you go to coordinates, we have to select this button, then select a point that will become origin of our scene. So I will select this point as my origin, this point as my LR point, and this point for the planar point. Now the final step, let's try putting some 3D objects in our scene. As you can see, our objects are properly tracked in the scene. This is how you manually track the footage in SynthEyes. So friends, some shots are simple and can be done with the auto tracking. But now that you have learned the detailed method, I am sure that you are ready for the tougher ones as well. If you have any question or suggestion, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I am covering every aspect of VFX in a way that beginners can easily follow, but if there's anything specific you would like to learn, you know exactly where to ask. That's it for today. I hope you are one step closer in your journey to becoming a top tier VFX artist. If this helped you, give it a like and share it with anyone dreaming of breaking into the industry. Subscribe if you want to master everything from creating 3D assets to bringing them alive in compositing. Up next, I will walk through rotomasking in SynthEyes followed by object tracking, and we will soon dive into new compositing tutorials as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next viewport.